Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why, no one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. There he is. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town, for he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming, I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming. For tomorrow he knew all the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early, they'd rush for their toys. And then all the noise, noise. That's one thing he hated, the noise. One thing about Dr. Seuss is like, the rhyming is sometimes pretty insufferable. It is a fucking classic, The Grinch. You can't really see... Wait, should I turn... I don't know. Wait, are you guys sleeping yet or what? Is everyone asleep yet? Then the Whos, young and old, would sit down to a feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Whos would start singing. They'd sing and they'd sing and they'd sing, Margot. And the more the Grinch thought of the Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 33 years, 53 years, the Grinch is 53? No wonder he's a miserable bastard, he's a fucking boomer. For 53 years I've put up with it now, I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Then he got an idea. An awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. There he is fucking scheming. He's quite cute, really. I can see why they cast Jim Carrey as the Grinch. I know just what to do, the Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled and clucked, what a great Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I've got a big dick. That's not what it says, guys. I bet he does. With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. I got it a bit wrong the first time. All I need is a reindeer, the Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max, then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. There's his doggy, there's Max. I mean, you've all probably seen the film, you know. I'm not, if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil the story for you. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, "Get up," and the sleigh started down towards the homes where the Whos lay a snooze in their town. All their windows were dark, quiet snow filled the air, all the Whos were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square. "This is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist." There he is. I mean, you can't really see it because of the light is very bright, but there he is on the top of a chimney. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once for a moment or two, then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. "These stockings," he grinned, "are the first things to go." Then he slithered and slunk, with a smile most unpleasant, around the whole room, and he took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn and plums. Who gets fucking plums for Christmas? How bad you gotta be? You must be on a naughty list to get plums. Unless, some people call their balls plums, don't they? You gotta be on the naughty list to get testicles for Christmas, especially the testicles I've had experiences with, at least. And he stuffed them in bags, then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all of the bags one by one up the chimney. Nimbly does not rhyme with chimney. Then he slunk to the icebox, he took the Who feast, he took the Who pudding, he took the roast beast. He cleaned out that icebox as quick as a flash, while that Grinch even took the last can of Who hash. Is everyone sleeping? Ah, that's so cute. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee, and now, grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. I mean, that tree looks a bit pathetic, doesn't it, really? Like, that is a Christmas tree that's like on Ozempic or some shit. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove. When he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove, he turned around fast and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou Who was not more than 2. I've seen the fucking film, she's at least 10. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter who'd got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, "Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?" Wait, my mum's yawning. Mother, are you going to sleep? Guys, I think my mum... Are you listening to the story? Yeah, I'm thinking that. There ain't no way a 2-year-old can say all that. 2-year-olds aren't even, like, aware of what's going on, I don't think. But you know that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a lie and he thought it up quick. "Why, my sweet little tot," the fake Santa Claus lied, "there's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here." Yeah, like, I feel like some of these rhymes are a little bit forced, but we'll let him off. And his fib fooled the child. I mean, it's not hard to fib a 2-year-old, is it? Then he patted her head, and he got her a drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Ah, you absolutely love his books, though. Yeah, like, what else has he done? Dr. Seuss, he's done The Cat in the Hat, another banger. Hey, we're reading. No, you guys are meant to be sleeping. Shh. We're doing ASMR. I thought you guys were asleep. I felt like my weird little self could have so much fun as a kid reading them. Yeah, I did once get my mum to read this to me as a bedtime story. Not that long ago, actually, like last year. I've got a picture of it somewhere. She didn't look impressed. So he stuffed the tree up the chimney. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. Oh, on their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Oh no. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. Yeah, like, it's a bit repetitive, isn't it? The great Yapperoonie over here. This story is longer than I thought it was. It was dawn, all the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a snooze when he packed up his sled, packed it up with our presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags and the tinsel, the trimmings, the the trappings. There is, oh my god, yeah, that's a big fucking sack, innit? If anyone wasn't around to hear my joke that I came up with myself, why is Santa's sack so big? Because he only comes once a year. You like this story? Yeah, I like this story. It's a good film as well. I'm going to be watching The Grinch, I think, tomorrow maybe, or the day after, because the day after is Christmas Day. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. Pooh-pooh to the Who's, he was Grinchiously humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up, I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry boo-hoo. That's a noise, That's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. So he paused and the Grinch put his hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. The Santa comes. You like my joke? I came up with that joke from my own brain. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, the sound... Wait, my god, some of this is kind of difficult to read because it's like, it's very... He's making up words, by the way. He's making up his own fucking words. He's as bad as Kay's cooking. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, this sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry very. He stared down at Whoville, the Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. There it is. You know what? I might colour in this book. I feel like this would be a good book to give to children because the pictures are all in black and white, but I bet you could colour them in. That'd be kind of fun, I think, if you had a few months free and you didn't have nothing better to do. He saw a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, were singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming, it came. Somehow or another, it came just the same. And the Grinch with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons, it came without tags, it came without packages, boxes or bags, and he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his head, no, he whizzed with his load, oh God, through the bright morning light, and he brought back the toys and the food for the feast, and he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. There it is. That's it. Hey, right, you better all be asleep right now. I want to see no one in this chat, because I read you guys a bedtime story. You gotta go. Hey, are you feeling sleepy? Yeah, I do really love the Grinch. I feel like it's a very nice. There's like a very nice moral to the story that like a lot of Christmas is like just like consumerism, isn't it? Like capitalism, consumerism. Like everyone's like, oh, I want this, I want that. But it's not about that, or it shouldn't be about that. It should be about spending time with people you love, shouldn't it? And having fun. But yeah, guys, would you fuck the Grinch? Twitchy Mash? Isn't that every... Wait, what's every day? Yeah, well, especially at Christmas, because, like... Yeah, it's very, especially nowadays, Christmas is very, like... It's very capitalistic, isn't it? Like, oh, like, they're making stuff up. Every year there's new things. Like, have you seen all this fucking elf on a shelf bollocks? I know middle-aged women on my Facebook friends list. They are spending hours and hundreds of pounds every day on this fucking elf on a shelf bullshit. It's not the holidays without broken bones while shopping for... Exactly! Twitchy Mash, Merry Crisis, yeah. Yeah, it's a bit...